Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I want to say just a few words about Justin Trudeau's platform. Ontarians know what happens when Liberals are re-elected, and Trudeau's platform is ripped straight from Kathleen Wynne's playbook. It's a recipe for disaster. Out of control spending, huge deficits, massive debt that sucks away billions and billions in interest payments. Des dépenses hors de contrôle, des déficits énormes, une dette massive qui va coûter des milliards en intérêts, avec la recette de Justin Trudeau, on fonce dans un mur. Kathleen Wynne left Ontario in near ruins, and Justin Trudeau is doing the same thing to Canada. We cannot let that happen. We must defeat Justin Trudeau now and elect a Conservative government that will live within its means and put more money in your pockets so you can get ahead. Which brings me to why I'm here today. It's great to be here today with Todd McCarthy, our outstanding Conservative candidate for Whitby, to talk about another measure in Canada's Conservatives' plan to help all Canadians get ahead. I know that Todd and his son Jake are good friends of the Ability Centre here in Whitby and appreciate the quality care and support that you provide. Like Todd, I'm also a proud father. I'm the father of 5 great kids. 5 kids that I'm excited to watch grow, reach their full potential, and achieve their dreams. Like all Canadian parents, I want nothing but the best for them, and I want them to have every success, to be happy and healthy. Comme tous les parents, je veux tout ce qu'il y a de mieux pour mes enfants. Je veux que tout leur réussisse. Je veux qu'ils soient heureux et en bonne santé. As Jill and I know, raising children can be hard. But raising children with disabilities comes with extra challenges. There are millions of Canadian parents of children with disabilities. In addition to the normal stresses of parenthood, they have extra hurdles to overcome in their day-to-day lives, and challenges that can be limiting. Limiting in trying to give their children the best life they can. An estimated 1 in 5 Canadians aged 15 or older live with one or more disabilities that limit them in their daily activities, whether it be physical, sensory, cognitive, or psychological. That's about 6.2 million Canadians with a long-term condition or health-related problem who deserve to have access to the healthcare and social support they need. That's why I'm proud to announce today that a new Conservative government will implement the Fairness for Persons with Disabilities Act. As part of this act, we will make it easier for Canadians with disabilities to qualify for the disability tax credit. By reducing the number of hours spent every week on life-sustaining therapy needed to qualify from 14 to 10. And by expanding the definition of what counts as life-sustaining therapy to include the time it takes to prepare dietary and exercise regimes and to determine dosages of medication and medical food. With our changes, 35,000 more Canadians will be eligible for tax savings of $2,100 a year. If a loved one lives with a disability, a chronic illness, or a life-limiting condition, it takes a toll on the entire family, both emotionally and financially. We need to do more to support Canadians with disabilities in ways that leave more money in their pockets to help them manage their health needs. This act is just one of the ways we will do that. C'est pourquoi je suis fier d'annoncer aujourd'hui que le nouveau gouvernement conservateur va adopter la loi sur l'équité pour les personnes handicapées. Avec cette loi, il va être plus facile pour les Canadiens et les Canadiennes handicapés d'avoir accès au crédit d'impôt pour personnes handicapées. En réduisant de 14 à 10 le nombre d'heures de thérapie requises par semaine pour se qualifier. Et en élargissant la définition de ce qu'est une thérapie de maintien de la vie pour inclure le temps requis pour préparer des régimes alimentaires et d'exercice et déterminer les doses de médicaments et d'aliments médicaux. Avec nos changements, 35 000 Canadiens et Canadiennes de plus vont économiser 2 100 $ par année. Quand un proche a un handicap, une maladie chronique ou une maladie qui réduit son espérance de vie, c'est dur pour toute sa famille, émotivement et financièrement. Nous devons faire plus pour aider les Canadiens et les Canadiennes handicapés et laisser plus d'argent dans leur poche pour qu'ils puissent répondre à leurs besoins. Cette loi n'est que l'une des façons dont nous allons le faire. Because it's so important that Canadians with a disability can care for themselves, and parents can support their children without worrying about their bottom line. In August, I sent a letter to the premiers of each province confirming that as Prime Minister, I will maintain and increase the Canada Health Transfer and the Canada Social Transfer to protect and ensure the quality of our social programs. So all Canadians can reasonably expect quality access to the public health care they deserve. In 2015, Justin Trudeau said he'd be different. He said he'd help. Instead, he has failed Canadians by slamming them with higher taxes, denying them access to the support they need. In 2017, when Justin Trudeau callously changed the rules to qualify for the disability tax credit and the registered disability savings plan, thousands of Canadians who previously received support no longer qualified. To some, this meant thousands of dollars out of their pockets. 80% of Canadians with type 1 diabetes were eligible for the tax credit under the previous system. Imagine being told you're insufficiently disabled to keep more of your own money to manage your own health. That's exactly what Justin Trudeau did. The bottom line is, Trudeau thinks he can spend your money better than you can. While you're struggling to pay for everyday essentials and the health support you need, he continues to rack up debt and deficits, threatening higher taxes and cuts to important government services like healthcare. And if Justin Trudeau is re-elected, his carbon tax will go up and make everyday essentials even more expensive. It will add at least 31 cents a litre to the price of gasoline and hundreds, even thousands, for everyday household essentials. And I'm tired of watching Canadians who struggle to live within their means pay taxes to a government that has no interest in living within theirs, while threatening the services all Canadians depend on. A new Conservative government will live within its means, so you worry less about your bottom line and focus on living life to your full potential. We'll bring in a universal tax cut for every Canadian that will save a couple with average salaries of $850 a year. We'll bring in tax credits for children's arts, fitness, and learning, making it more affordable to enroll your child in soccer and other extracurricular activities. We'll provide a green public transit tax credit so those who take the bus or train to work can save. And we'll increase the age credit by $1,000, putting $300 back into the pockets of a senior couple. We'll make maternity benefits tax-free, putting up to $4,000 back in the pockets of new parents. And we'll boost the RESP, helping parents save to send their child to post-secondary school. On October 21st, Canadians will decide who they trust to put more money in their pockets so they can get ahead, while protecting the services they rely on. The choice is becoming clearer by the day. A choice between a re-elected Liberal government under Justin Trudeau, who simply doesn't understand how his reckless and wasteful spending makes life more expensive for so many Canadians, or a new Conservative government that will live within its means in order to protect the healthcare system. Le 21 octobre, les Canadiens et les Canadiennes vont décider à qui ils font confiance pour mettre plus d'argent dans leur poche pour améliorer le quotidien, tout en protégeant les services dont ils ont besoin. Le choix devient plus clair chaque jour. Un choix entre un gouvernement libéral réélu sous Justin Trudeau qui ne comprend tout simplement pas combien ces dépenses incontrôlées rendent la vie plus chère pour de nombreux Canadiens et Canadiennes. Et un nouveau gouvernement conservateur qui va vivre selon ses moyens pour protéger le système de santé. Supporting vulnerable Canadians by implementing the Fairness for Persons with Disabilities Act and making it easier for Canadians with disabilities to qualify for the disability tax credit. Putting more money in your pockets so you can get ahead. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Happy to take your questions.
Good morning, Mr. Scheer. David Aiken from Global News. Global's asking all the leaders today about millennial voters. This is the single largest demographic bloc in this election. In the last election, it was also a bloc that tended not to support Conservatives. It tended to support your opponents. So could you explain to us why millennials should vote Conservative this time around?
Well, we are the only party that has a platform that will lead to a brighter future for young Canadians. I point you specifically to our housing strategy, which consists of reworking the stress test and make it easier for young couples to purchase their new home with a longer amortization period. Those are some concrete examples of how life will be better and young millennials will be able to get ahead under a Conservative government.
I want to flip gears a bit to this area, the 9 to 5. In your remarks, you mentioned Kathleen Wynne and Conservatives in this province used her name to great effect to win an election. Now your opponents are using Doug Ford's name, and they want to link you with Ford because Ford's tremendously unpopular. We spoke to some parents who hate the Ford cuts. And the word is out from your opponents that conservatives equal cuts. How do you dissociate yourself from Doug Ford, and how do you differentiate your brand from Ford Nation?
Well, people in Ontario understand all too well what happens when Liberal governments are allowed to raise taxes, run massive deficits that threaten social services, when those governments are allowed to govern. We can do, at the federal level, what Ontarians did in the last election, which is to throw out a scandal-plagued, deficit-running, tax-hiking Liberal government and replace it with a government that will live within its means to put more money in the pockets of hardworking Ontarians. We know, living in Ontario and having friends and family in Ontario, hearing the stories about hydro bills going through the roof, about taxes going up, about services getting cut because Kathleen Wynne's Liberal government could not manage the social services, and because the debt took up more and more of the tax dollar. We understand the damage that does, and I'm confident that voters in Ontario and across Canada will put an end to this wasteful Liberal government.
Oui, puis moi, dans Radio-Canada, le gouvernement Ford a été très critiqué pour ses compressions dans les services en santé, au l'autisme notamment. Est-ce que l'annonce de ce matin, à vos yeux, est suffisante pour donner un visage plus humain, plus compatissant au mouvement conservateur? Comment vous allez faire pour vous détacher de l'image de M. Ford?
Nous avons déjà annoncé des mesures pour protéger notre système de santé. J'ai fait un engagement clair qu'on va augmenter les investissements pour le système de santé. Aujourd'hui, c'est une politique très compassionnante et on va avoir des autres choses pour annoncer dans notre plateforme. Alors, je suis convaincu que les électeurs savent qu'avec les grands déficits et les hausses d'impôts d'un gouvernement libéral, ça menace les systèmes de la santé et des choses comme ça. Il n'y a aucune chose compatissante quand un gouvernement libéral coupe les services à cause de leur grand déficit et de l'intérêt sur la dette.
M. Trudeau a ramené à 3 mois l'interdiction des dons de sang pour les membres de la communauté homosexuelle avec la condition d'abstinence. Seriez-vous en faveur de lever cette interdiction complètement? Sinon, vous positionnez où sur cet enjeu?
Je suis en faveur de traiter les homosexuels de la même façon que les personnes hétérosexuelles. Je suis pour l'égalité, pour l'égalité basée sur les mêmes critères.
Toujours avec la condition de 3 mois.
Alors, c'est essentiel quand on écoute les experts médicaux et si ça c'est une recommandation, c'est important que le gouvernement le suive. So I am in favor of treating homosexual blood donors on the same level as heterosexual blood donors, and would of course listen to the advice from medical experts on this very issue.
Mr. Scheer, GCBC News. You started off the top talking about Justin Trudeau's platform. I'd like to know when you will be releasing your fully costed platform, and if it will be before the debate this week or any of the debates. And also, will you be explicit in your platform about what you will cut in terms of paying for these credits that you were announcing, or will it be sort of a wait-and-see Doug Ford approach?
Well, first of all, on the Trudeau platform announcement yesterday, Canadians saw yesterday exactly how life will get more expensive under a Justin Trudeau government. Higher taxes, endless deficits, bigger bills, less money in your pockets. That is the exact same platform as Kathleen Wynne, but with canoes. That's what we saw yesterday. Less than half of the promises even costed. I don't even know if you can call that a platform. We have committed to unveil our platform with plenty of time for Canadians to make decisions to go through it. It will be in plenty of time for the vote. It will be well ahead of Election Day, and it will be before the advance polls. But again, as I said, I don't even know if we can call that a platform from yesterday. He has made billions of dollars in uncosted promises that will force him to either raise taxes, break promises, or break the bank. So I don't have any confidence in what was unveiled yesterday. But your second question about the costing, we will show Canadians exactly how we get back to balanced budgets. We've already announced that we will eliminate $1.5 billion worth of wasteful corporate welfare. We will pull Canada's funding out of the Asian Infrastructure Bank. We'll be making further announcements as to where we disagree with where Liberals have been spending money, and Canadians can see exactly how we'll get back to balanced budgets while leaving more money in their pockets.
Just to follow up, you said that you will be releasing the fully costed platform by advance polling, but that does fall after the debate. So I think Canadians would like to know, are you going to be releasing your full platform platform before you get up on the debate stage?
As I said, we will be unveiling our full platform well in advance for Canadians to make decisions. I will note that even yesterday, even in releasing the platform, the Liberals have failed to cost over half of their promises. So, Canadians can see that they are hiding the fact that they're going to raise taxes after the next election. They're afraid to come clean with Canadians because they know that these uncosted, unsustainable programs will be accompanied by massive tax hikes that will make life less affordable, and Canadians will fall further and further behind. I am looking forward to the debate where I can hold Justin Trudeau to account finally after he's skipped out on the first two, and challenge him and hold him to account for his broken promises and his massive tax hikes that are just around the corner.
Mr. Scheer, Joseph Benoit, the Canadian Press. So the Liberals are asking Saskatchewan's insurance industry, the watchdogs, to investigate you for what they claim is a false claim that you once worked as an insurance broker in the province. Now, in terms of the perception, how are Canadians supposed to see you as anything other than a career politician if one of your pre-politics professions has clearly been misrepresented?
I disagree with that premise. When I was 24, working in an insurance office, I received my accreditation under the Canadian Accredited Insurance Broker Program for general insurance, and I left before obtaining the full license, but I did receive that accreditation for general insurance, and I worked in that office. I also waited tables before putting my way through university. I have had many different types of jobs before I was elected.
And
oui, mais quand j'ai 14 ans, 24 ans, j'ai reçu mon accréditation de le programme pour les courtiers canadiens pour l'assurance générale, et je travaille avec les courtiers dans le bureau, et j'ai toujours été clair de mon bilan.
On the Liberal platform, the Liberals mentioned that they want to require social media companies to remove illegal content. So they're talking about hate speech in particular, but they spoke about other things. They want that to be taken down within 24 hours of it being posted. What do you think about that? And also, how do you think that affects the right to free speech in this country?
Well, again, I don't have any confidence in anything in that platform for the government to for the Liberals to actually implement. They have a track record of broken promises. I think it's important that we find the balance between protecting free speech, but also ensuring that hate speech, that social media platforms are not used to spread hate and to encourage people to violence. I think governments can do that. I think governments around the world are grappling with the rise of social media and the forums that does present people who are engaged in spreading hateful ideologies. Our party will always support measures that tackle this very important issue to ensure that people are not subjected to hateful messages or incitement to violence or things like that. So we'll continue working as a government. We'll build on some of the successes we've had in the past in terms of transparency and accountability for social media companies to ensure that they're tackling this problem.
Glenn McGregor, City News. On Tout le monde en parle, you talked about taxation of companies like Netflix, Facebook, Google. Tell me exactly what you're proposing, what Conservative government would do with respect to taxing those kind of companies.
Sure. So the specifics and exactly what we're doing today is about this disability tax credit. In terms of the measure that I referenced on Tout le monde en parle the other night, that will come with full detail in a few days. We'll be making as we release the platform, we'll be showing exactly how we're going to do that. But it will be aimed at making sure that massively profitable companies who collect hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue out of the Canadian economy pay their fair share just like every other Canadian company.
Okay, but with respect, you let the cat out of the bag the other night. You're going to do it. So what changed from last election when your party assailed the Liberals for wanting to tax Netflix? What's changed in your mind in that time? Why do you think those companies should be taxed?
Well, as we pointed out in the last election, the Liberal approach was to put another tax on consumers. What I'm talking about is ensuring that the same way we all Canadian companies pay a certain percentage of their revenue in taxes to the federal government, just like as has always been the case, that foreign multi-billion-dollar corporations who are collecting hundreds of millions of dollars worth of ad revenues or subscription fees out of Canada pay their fair share just like any other Canadian company would do. So it's about creating a level playing field on the corporate side of things.
En français,
Oui, j'ai reconnu le fait qu'il y a des compagnies étrangères avec des profits massifs qui ramassent les millions de dollars de l'économie canadienne, mais ne pas payer leur part. Alors, on va assurer qu'ils paient leur part juste comme de la même façon que toutes les compagnies canadiennes.
Monsieur Scheer, les libéraux et les néo-démocrates s'engagent à criminaliser les thérapies de conversion qui cherchent à faire en sorte que les personnes homosexuelles deviennent hétérosexuelles. En tout cas, c'est ce qu'ils prétendent. Est-ce que vous aussi, vous vous engagez à criminaliser ces thérapies de conversion?
Oui, alors on va appuyer les mesures législatives qui ciblent cette question et on va toujours appuyer les mesures qui vont protéger les droits des LGBTQ canadiens et pour assurer qu'il n'y a aucune personne qui a été menacée à cause de leur orientation. And so we will support and we will support measures that protect the rights of LGBTQ Canadians and we will support legislative changes that aim to stop the practice of people who are bullied or harassed or threatened in any way because of their sexual orientation.
Mais si vous devenez le gouvernement le 21 octobre, il n'est plus question de soutenir des initiatives, il est question de présenter des mesures. Est-ce que vous vous engagez à présenter des mesures pour criminaliser ce genre de pratiques?
Oui, je peux engager de présenter les mesures qui va protéger les droits des LGBTQ canadiens, oui. Et je dois dire que le gouvernement actuel a dit au printemps qu'il n'était pas prêt de faire cette sorte de choses. Il a dit qu'il est hors de son pouvoir. Alors c'est à M. Trudeau d'expliquer la raison pour laquelle on ne peut pas faire quelque chose au mois de mai, mais maintenant, dans une élection, il prétend de prendre cet enjeu sérieux.
And in English, are you engaging?
Yeah, so my engagement is to propose laws that protect the rights of LGBTQ Canadians. It's up to Mr. Trudeau to explain the flip-flop, the difference, because it was just in the spring where he said that he would refuse to take action and that it was out of his government's control to do more to tackle this very issue. And now during an election campaign, he's making the promise. So as I said, we will support and we will introduce measures that protect the rights of LGBTQ Canadians, and we will certainly make sure that all Canadians have the right to live their lives without fear or intimidation.
Janice McGregor from CBC News. I'd like to follow up on my colleague's question for a little bit more clarity. Exactly how many months did you work at that insurance office?
I can go back and check my personal records, I guess, but it was in 2003 when I was 24 years old. I worked from approximately spring to sometime in the fall, so 6 or 7 months.
And can you clarify exactly what tasks you were working at in that office? Because there's a lot of things that are done in an insurance office. So what exactly did your particular job entail?
Mm-hmm. Supporting the whole team, answering questions from customers and clients, and doing preparatory work and explaining information, passing on information to people who would come to the office.
Okay, but so you were never actually working as a broker then, it doesn't sound like.
As I said, I received my accreditation under the Canadian Accredited Insurance Broker Program. And in this particular office, the licensed brokers finalized all the transactions.
Mr. Scheer, Janice Dixon with the Globe and Mail. I've got a question on vaping. Would you propose any regulations? There's been a number of illnesses. Some advocates are calling for a flavor ban. Would you look at the regulations around vaping?
Mm-hmm. So yes, I am very concerned with some of the reports I've been reading about the health effects that are coming to light because of vaping, and we've certainly learned a lot over the years about other tobacco products and other forms of ingesting tobacco. This is something that, while still relatively new, clearly is having early signs of having harmful side effects. So yes, we will be looking at what the federal government can do to protect the health of all Canadians. As a father of 5, I know some children that are in our neighborhood in Regina who have started vaping at a very young age, and that certainly is very alarming. And so we certainly do need to make sure that the federal government does more.
Okay, and the Trudeau government was unable to convince the Trump administration to reopen talks around the Safe Third Country Agreement. What would you do differently to convince his administration to agree to changes to the loophole?
Well, first of all, the Liberals have sent mixed messages on this right from the beginning. At first they said they weren't interested in trying to do it, then they said that they were, and then they actually never did. So it's time to have a serious effort made to stop the flow of illegal border crossings. The same principle that is applied at official border crossings should be applied throughout the border. People who are fleeing countries should make their claim in the first safe country that they arrive in. That is the basis of our international agreements, and that is what Canadians expect. And Canadians will can have greater confidence in our immigration system if the integrity of our border, as it relates to illegal crossings, is enhanced. And right now, under the Liberals, we've got over 50,000 people who have crossed in illegally. That is affecting provinces' ability to deliver important services like healthcare and education. And it is also meaning that there are fewer resources available for people who are waiting their turn, who are in refugee camps, who have been on lists for years and years and years trying to come to Canada. We believe our immigration system, our refugee system, should prioritize those who are actually fleeing a dangerous civil war and natural disasters.
Hi, I'm Mitch Potter, Toronto Star. Earlier, just before you stepped in, there was an individual from the information of the rebel who was removed from the room. And I think in the distant past, you've engaged with the rebel. Can you tell us what's changed and how you view that organization now?
Well, as I said a few years ago, after some incidents with reporting from that network, that I would no longer be granting interviews to the rebel. And as for today, this event was open for accredited media outlets. Thank you very much, everyone. Merci beaucoup.